Cool.
First things first, though.
I guess I just want to talk about. Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me? Am I talking loud enough?
So this just goes to the
Oh, live stream. Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you. I just want to talk about a side project I've been jamming on for a little bit called Bechtel.io. If you guys want to go, you guys are free to go check it out right now if you guys want. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's get into it. So my name is Joe Carlson. I'm a tech lead over at Best Buy. I work on .com, whatever. Do JavaScript stuff all day. Okay. Bechtel test. Does anyone know what the Bechtel test is? Yeah. Couple? Yes. Got a couple? Cool. Allow me to mansplain feminist film theory to all y'all. I should preface this too. So this is an app I've been working on with my sister. So it's a lot better coming from her than me. But pretend she's here with me. Great. Okay, so Bechtel test. Bechtel test is a movie, or it's a film test for movies, but it's a movie that includes at least two women in it that have at least one conversation with each other, and this is the most important part, about something other than a man or men. Yeah, it's a pretty simple test actually, but you'd be shocked at the number of movies that do not pass the Bechtel test. These are all movies that do not pass it. Yeah, cool. So people have really strong feelings about this when I tell them about the Bechtel test. So just like if you're feeling like really angry about this, just like hold on a sec. This is not a perfect test, right? You could have two women talk about a lamp in a movie, and it would technically pass the Bechtel test. It doesn't mean they have depth, right? It's not perfect. If your favorite movie does not pass this test, it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Like lots of great movies on that last list, right? Great, awesome. Not a bad movie. It's just not saying that. And lastly, what this test what it does do is it examines under and misrepresented women in film. It's just a lens to view it, right? Okay, Bechtel test. Anyone have any questions so far about what the Bechtel test is? All right. So anyways, my sister and I wrote a program, a website, Bechtel.io, and basically what you do, you upload your movie script to the website, and we analyze it and determine whether it passes the Bechtel test or not. It's all open source, whatnot. Usually when I give this talk, I don't usually get as technical, but since you guys are a lot of nerds, we'll talk a little bit about the stack. So it's a React application. And on the back end, it's a Node server running Express, and then all the data saved in a Mongo database. Cool. And we're using Jest for tests and a bunch of other fun stuff on the back end too. So, all right, cool. So, how does it work? This is going to be like a very no-code kind of demo. I'm just going to kind of show you how this works. I also kind of want you guys to be thinking too about how this could apply to other media, books, whatever. Okay, so first of all, here's a sample movie script. I don't know if you guys can read it. Can anyone guess what movie this is from? Came out in the last couple of years. I don't know if you can read it. It's from Boyhood. So this is a sample script from Boyhood. Best Picture nominee from 2014, I think. Anyways, so you guys may not know it, but movie scripts are actually pretty much designed to be analyzed and write programs about. It's crazy. There's very strict rules for formatting movie scripts, which makes it extremely easy to write programs that analyze them. I've been shocked digging into this world of digital humanities, how many forms of media that aren't usually people that usually don't write programs for that are easy to get into. Anyways, so a little bit about movie scripts. Yeah, actually, I'll just get into it. So the first thing to do, we have to determine if there is two women in a scene. So the first thing we have to do is start splitting up movie scripts into scene by scene by scene. Right? So I don't know if anyone's written movie scripts, but you have these identifiers like enter, exit, int, x, I don't know, bunch of them. There's a huge list of them. But it's really easy to identify them when you're analyzing movie scripts. All right, so we just start breaking it up, these smaller strings. Next thing we do, we have to identify the gender. So this was actually one of the biggest hurdles when I first started getting into this. I'm going to get into some issues I've actually had with this that currently persist to this day. But what I'm doing is actually I'm hitting up a movie database and I find out what the gender of the actor or actress who plays the character in the movie, what they are. And then I come back and I assume that they're playing the gender. Of course, this doesn't work for transgender characters, which is an issue, but we're still working on it. OK, so I'm able to determine which gender each character is. And then we count to see if there's 2 or more women in the scene. So sure enough, this passed. We have Samantha and Mom in the scene. Mason's also in it, but he's a man, so it doesn't count. And passes that test. And the last thing we need to do is determine the content of their conversation. So currently what we're doing is just analyzing, we're looking for some keywords, patriarchal type keywords. What are some stuff that would signify that they're man or men? Things like dad, king, prince, he, his, these kind of words. Are we seeing these words in their conversations? So we do a quick scan, and we find some keywords. We have a keyword here, down here, and we see that they are talking about dad. So this scene would not pass the test. OK, cool. But you may also see there's some other weird words in here that cause some issues for us. There's all these 2 other words here, sir and sir. So in this context, are they talking about a man or men? No. Which leads to one of the biggest issues we've had with this project so far, and it's one that we're still working on. But that patriarchal keywords are like super ingrained in our vocabulary, which is something I did not understand until getting into this project. Yeah, I know. Does anyone do NLP work, natural language processing? I've been just getting into it for this project, but it's been a struggle. Anyway, that's what's currently going on with it. OK. Cool. Let's see, does anyone have any questions so far about how this works so far?
So when you do encounter those words, do you just have to go in and decide for yourself, or does it just fail?
Yeah, so right now what I'm doing, yeah, I get a huge analytics report from each movie. So it tells me what scenes they are, and we can kind of right now, want to flag them and kind of vote on whether they actually work or not. Right now, the only way to identify these is with a human being watching a movie and determining whether it passes the movie or not. There's a movie or a website called BechtelTest.com, which does exactly that. Yeah, that's a good question. Right now, we're kind of flagging it by hand with some outliers. Any other questions so far? I still have more left, but I thought I'd grab you while we're digging into the meat and potatoes of it.
So just one of those scenes would invalidate it for passing the Bechdel?
Only one scene would have to pass for it to pass the test. Yeah, so this movie's made up of whatever, 15, 20 scenes, and if one of them passes, then the whole movie's good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, isn't that nuts? Yeah, I agree. It's it seems so simple that people are really struggling. All right, cool. So lessons learned. Trying to learn here. Yeah, patriarchal keywords, they're crazy hard. So this has been kind of starting my journey on studying natural language processing. You guys heard of Parsemic Parseface or TensorFlow, some other big NLP engines out there right now, but I've been kind of getting into. Also, fun fact, people use movie scripts to train robots to learn how to speak English. It's kind of like this, I don't know, we're helping each other. OK, yep, so currently app does not work with transgender characters, so do not take into account whether if a male actor is playing a female character, that's gonna skew with the results. I do plan to make that better in the future, though. OK, cool. Last thing I want to talk about too with this is this is under the umbrella world of digital humanities, which you may not have heard of before. I kind of stumbled into this with my sister studying feminist film theory, but it's this whole world of programmatically analyzing the humanities fields. So I've been kind of jumping into analyzing ebooks, films, lyrics, et cetera, with code. And the weird part is right now is that pretty much nobody's doing it. Like nobody's doing it. Like engineers are doing a ton of work with like writing like another JavaScript engine or framework. Like great, but no one's touching this right now because typically people who enter the humanities are people who aren't interested in writing code, and vice versa. You get lots of very technical people, and they don't mix. And there's a ton of opportunity right now for research right now. So I've been doing it independently. My sister has been doing it too. She wrote a research paper based on this algorithm and our results of analyzing a massive amount of films for this test, which we posted on the site too if you want to check it out. And we still think there's more work to be done there too. Also, fun fact, a recent program I worked on, it's called Punk. It removes all of the words from ebooks and it analyzes the punctuation from ebooks. Discovered a new way to analyze Shakespeare. So yeah, how does Shakespeare use punctuation different than Hemingway? Right? Start analyzing mass amounts of work that way. So anyway, if you're curious about digital humanities, I would love to chat with you about it. I think that's some cool stuff in there too. Which brings me to my, I have another point, but I'll get to it later. But you guys might like this one too. So this is the CTO of NPM. There's a Bechdel test for code. Now think about your personal projects, your professional projects. How many of them do you think would pass this test? Yes. Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind, OK? Lastly, I am looking for contributors to this project too. So if anyone's interested, I'm looking really for we have the source kind of all stable, out, ready to roll. Actually, I'll just pull it up here. But I'm looking for data viz stuff, and I'm looking for designers because this is a really shitty design, so I need some help, please. Yeah, hit me up. Okay. Any other questions?
Does the user have to go find the movie script themselves, or is it?
Yeah, actually, it currently does. I actually just wrote an NPM package though that gets movie scripts for you that I'm looking to integrate. So if it doesn't find it, we'll automatically go out and try to find it and analyze it for you. But yeah, there's been some weird spur-offs out of that. Currently, yes. Future, no. Hopefully. Other questions? All right, cool. I'll be here. Oh yeah.
Do you have a roadmap on some of those things that you're trying to solve that we need to follow along?
Yes, absolutely. If you check out my issues on GitHub, I've been on there too. Actually, I haven't done this yet. I wish I'd done it for today, but writing out even issues and marking them for first-timers too. So if you've never contributed an open source project, this might be an interesting project for you guys to jump into too. I'd love to help you guys out with that too. So yeah. Cool. Any other questions? No?
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
That was super awesome. Well, the next lightning talk gets set up. I just wanted to go a couple things if you haven't realized already. There's food, which you walked by. Please continue to eat it until it's gone. We don't need it after tonight. The bathrooms are out the door kind of across from where you came in. And if you leave after 8, you will have